All right, everybody, buckle up. Because today's deep dive is a big one. We're talking about something that affects every single one of us, no matter where you are in the world. We're diving into the UN's Sustainable Development Goals.
That's right. Those ambitious goals for a better future, we're talking ending poverty, fighting climate change, making sure everyone has access to education and healthcare, the whole 9 yards.
And this isn't just some idealistic wish list, right? We're looking at the 2024 update on how we're actually doing on those goals. Spoiler alert, it's a mixed bag.
Exactly. There are definitely some bright spots, some real signs of progress, but there are also some pretty stark warnings in this report. It's not going to magically fix itself. We're going to get into all of that.
Which is why we are going straight to the source, the actual UN report, to break down the need-to-know info, the stuff that really matters, and maybe have a few, really moments along the way.
Consider this your cheat sheet for understanding what's really happening with these global goals and, more importantly, what it all means for you.
All right, then. No sugarcoating. What's the overall verdict? Are we on track for a better future, or are we, kind of failing miserably?
Well, it's definitely not an A report card. The report actually uses the word reversed when talking about progress on several of the goals.
Reversed. Okay, so maybe not great.
Yeah, and it gets even more concerning. For the first time this century, poorer countries aren't catching up to wealthier ones. They're actually falling further behind.
Okay, so not all sunshine and rainbows then. Got it. But before we go full doom and gloom, there are some wins mentioned in the report, right?
Absolutely. It's not all bad news. And it's important to acknowledge the progress that has been made. We've seen incredible strides in reducing child mortality rates and HIV infections. Globally, access to clean water and sanitation has significantly improved.
Okay, phew. That's good to hear. It's like those good grades that balance out the bad ones, right?
Right. But remember that falling behind thing we talked about? That's a big deal.
So help me understand this. Why should someone who's, say, listening to this while they're commuting or making dinner even care about this?
Because it's not just about numbers on a page, it's about real people and systems. When a huge chunk of the world is stuck in poverty, it creates ripple effects. Think about it. If people are trapped in poverty, they're more vulnerable to things like exploitation. They can't invest in education, and that just perpetuates the cycle, impacting everything from global stability to even things like your access to certain goods and services.
Whoa, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. It's all connected, like some kind of, giant game of Jenga or something. You pull out the wrong piece and the whole thing can collapse.
Exactly. It's all interconnected.
So we've got this mix of good news, bad news, and some really complex challenges. But this report isn't just about these broad trends, is it? I've heard it also has some pretty mind-blowing details in there, stuff that really makes you stop and think.
Oh, absolutely. Get ready for some serious, really moments, because we're about to get into the really eye-opening stuff.
Hit me with it. What's the first one that jumps out?
Let's talk extreme poverty. In 2022, a staggering 23 million more people were pushed into extreme poverty than in 2019.
Wow, okay, hold on. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
How many people are we even talking about?
To put it into perspective, imagine the entire population of Australia suddenly living on less than $2 a day.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, that's a really moment for sure. That's a huge increase in just a few years. What's driving that kind of drastic spike in poverty?
It's like a perfect storm of global challenges all hitting at the same time. You've got those lingering pandemic effects. Economies are still struggling to recover. Conflicts are disrupting jobs and livelihoods. And of course, climate change is acting like a giant multiplier, exacerbating all of these problems.
Right. It's like a domino effect. Okay, so poverty is clearly a massive issue. What's another one of those shocking stats from the report that really highlights what's going on?
Okay, get ready for this one because it kind of blew my mind. Remember those standardized tests back in school? The ones that felt like they were determining our entire future based on algebra equations?
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I still have nightmares about geometry.
Well, the report shows that scores in those core subjects, like math and reading, are actually going down in many countries. And we're not just talking about temporary dips because of the pandemic disrupting schools. This is a bigger, more concerning trend.
So it's not just a case of kids these days spending too much time on TikTok or whatever.
Nope, not even close. This is about the future workforce and what this trend signals. A skilled workforce is essential for a resilient, thriving economy. And when those skills are lagging, it has ripple effects that impact everyone listening, from the job market to even the cost of goods and services.
Okay, wow. So we're talking potential long-term economic impacts from something that starts all the way back in school. I have to admit, never really thought about it that way.
It's all connected, right? And speaking of interconnectedness, the report had one more stat that really caught my eye, and it's about our oceans. We're actually facing a fourth global coral bleaching event.
Okay, I'll be honest. I'm not a coral expert here. Is that bad? Like, how bad are we talking?
It's a huge EE warning sign. Imagine a rainforest, vibrant, full of life, crucial for the planet's health. Now picture that entire rainforest turning white and dying. That's essentially what coral bleaching is, and it's happening right now all over the planet because of rising ocean temperatures.
Whoa, okay, yeah, that's a powerful image. So this isn't just about, like, pretty fish and underwater scenery being messed up. What's the impact on, well, us?
Coral reefs are essential for everything. I mean, they provide food and livelihoods for millions of people. They help regulate our climate. They protect coastlines from storms and erosion. They're like these incredibly important underwater ecosystems. And when they're damaged, the effects are felt far and wide. Even if you don't live near a coast, this impacts you.
Okay, yeah. Starting to see a theme here. Poverty, education, the health of our oceans, it's all connected. Honestly, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all of this. Like, What can one person actually do about any of this?
I get it. It can feel overwhelming. But the report isn't meant to make us feel powerless. It's a call to action. We still have time to turn things around, but it takes a collective effort.
So what can our listener, even just one person, even do with all this information? It's easy to feel like our individual actions are just a drop in the bucket, when we're talking about global issues like this.
That's a common feeling, but every drop in the bucket adds up. It's about collective action. The report actually highlights 3 key areas where individuals acting together can make a real difference.
All right, I'm listening. What's the first thing our listeners can do?
First and foremost, stay informed. This deep dive, this is a great start. Seriously, the report emphasizes how important it is to have access to accurate information. Did you know you can actually go to the UN's website and look up your own country's progress on each of the Sustainable Development Goals?
No, I did not know that.
Yep. See where your country's doing well and where it maybe needs some work.
That's a great idea. Okay, what's the second area where listeners can take action?
Support what matters. Now that you're armed with this knowledge, you're empowered to make informed choices in your everyday life. This could be anything as a consumer, a voter, a member of your community. You can support businesses that prioritize sustainability, research political candidates, and see where they stand on these issues.
Right, so it's about aligning your actions with your values, like putting your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. And the third thing you can do is simple, but people forget about it all the time. Talk about it.
You mean like tell everyone I know about this podcast?
Yeah. Well, you can definitely do that. But really, it's about keeping these conversations going. Talk to your friends, your family, your coworkers. Share what you're learning about the Sustainable Development Goals, the challenges, and the potential solutions. You never know who you might inspire.
I love that because even a single conversation can spark change. Right? Maybe someone hears something that makes them rethink their daily habits or get more involved in their community or even donate to a cause they care about. It all starts with awareness. It's like that old saying, knowledge is power, but it's only powerful if we actually do something with it.
100%. And that's really what these Sustainable Development Goals are all about, right? Collective action. All of us working together to create a better future.
Well, this has been quite the deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from some pretty heavy statistics to some hopeful signs of progress, and we talked about what we can all do to make a difference. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a mix of, okay, we have our work cut out for us, but also, hey, I can actually be a part of the solution.
That's the right attitude to have. And remember, the report is just a snapshot in time. It's up to all of us to write the next chapter.
So true. And on that note, here's something I want to leave our listeners with. Something to think about as you go about your day. Think about one choice you make every single day. Could be something you buy, a habit you have, something you do regularly, whatever. Now imagine millions of other people making that same choice, but shifting it just a little bit, making it more sustainable, more equitable, more in line with those goals we've been talking about. What kind of impact could that have? It's a powerful thought, isn't it? And it all starts with that one choice. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Sustainable Development Goals. We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic, ready to unpack even more knowledge and insights. Until then, stay curious and, most importantly, take action.